Good evening, Free Enterprise, and welcome to Night 4. Wow, already Night 4 of the Adamant Cup here, and we've got an actually extremely wonderful race here between Possumorpheus and Fleury, both out of the Full Moon group. With me today is Invenable. How you doing, Inven?
Hey, doing great. Very excited about this match. It's yeah, like Possumorpheus's naming scheme suggests, kind of a throwback night. We got two of the old hats, two of the pink names going at it tonight. Possumorpheus with one win already in the Full Moon group. Fleury playing his first match. Two extremely prolific racers of Free Enterprise, been around and at it for a long time, but they've not gotten rusty. These two race so many seeds every single week. This is going to be a fine example of high tier play tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, very much so. Especially, are we back in ZZ1? Is it 2018 right now?
Not with this completion percent, of course. The 7 out of 7 gated quests, tough quests of this flag set going to be a far cry from hunting a lone Crystal and Zeromus access.
And all of a sudden, we're seeing these objectives getting filled in. That is 3 just gated by a darkness crystal there. One with a package, one with a tower key, one with a pink tail, and the falcon. And actually, given the fact that 3 objectives are all gated by the darkness crystal, this could actually be a fairly low completion percentage if our runners here come up with that darkness crystal fairly quickly here, as we do have Gold Cane as our starter as well.
Yeah, and that hook pulling double duty here. And like you said, Kane, very powerful starter, can equip such a wide array of weapons and armor. Very hard not to pull something for him in the early game that lets him start rolling. And speaking of rolling, we are off. Let's see who this partner is. Starting item, some of these better kit items. What are we rocking with tonight?
We've got some hit points here with that Yang here. A Lunar Sparkle and a Magma Key. I saw an Elixir. I didn't see much in the way of the other GA items there, but we are already off to the races here. And Magma Key, what's your first stop here?
I loathe going underground instantly, especially when we have this team, which should be able to handle a little bit of the overworld. Admittedly, with standard shops, we know underground there's a fairly decent chance you can pull some combo of Siren, Coffin, Hourglass, and get a lot of early XP. But at the same time, you don't want to walk through Sylph Cave twice if you can. I like to do a little overworld here. I want to see what Eddie has, I want to see what Antlion has, and maybe the Hobbs character. And then let's push that Magma Key.
Have to chuckle a little bit here as I've played many a practice race with Possum, and he does kind of favor going to Emblem Castle quite a bit here. Both of them immediately checking Bedward, and I've heard of some 30-minute Bedward checks here, so I am kind of happy to see it here.
Well, chat called it. Apologies, chat. I know someone said they wanted to see a Kane Edge start with a Darkness Crystal out the gate. This scene's blown wide open, and that hook can be anywhere.
Absolutely, and well, we have 3 of our objectives totally within reach right now. We're completely wide open, and here's the question here with the potentiality of Fu or Cecil on the Darkness Crystal. Do you give any pause to possibly launching that Lunar Whale very quickly?
You know, there are some extremely strong characters. Fu is in play in this group's flag set. It's always nice to see him. And the moon gives us yet another gated shop. You can probably, with these two and Hobbs and Moon, you can probably put a team together that's fine for the entire run of the game and get those early levels and get rolling. It's a dilemma, and there are 1,001 choices being equated in our runners' minds right now, and we see that divergence. Possum looks to be going underground, or he's going to the moon.
Oh, very much so. The biggest thing here is it is now 2 minutes and 20 seconds into the seed, and neither of our runners have opened a single box yet.
Oh, Possum doing a little fake out, throws the key, free up a little inventory space, sure, why not, and appears to also be launching the well. But this is a little awkward, I think, because, you're going moon, Hummingway shop is gated. What are you selling here to be able to afford a single Siren, a single Hourglass, any of the above?
I mean, we don't have that, but the only thing I could also think of is you can get a quick spot. I mean, I know that it's not an objective here, but you can get a quick little check-in on the cave value boss and 4 fairly high-tier treasure boxes in that area. Now, you don't have a source of exit, so you might want to save scum out of it, but it's not a bad idea to possibly check those 4 right there.
And there's a little crisscross applesauce, Flurry launching the well, and now going to the Magma Key. I'm just going to guess that they're going to do the exact same stuff, but they're just going to leapfrog back and forth and really keep us guessing. Okay, good. Not the case. Thank you, Possum.
We're just going to get our cutscenes out of the way right now, and nope, we're going to the moon. But yeah, I would definitely say a little bit of looting would kind of be a little bit in both their favor, just to be afford. I mean, you have access to 4 out of the 5 gated item shops here, so with those powerful sirens, hourglasses, Bacchus wine, coffins, all of the above available possibly for our runners, you definitely want to see some of that.
Indeed. And chat mentioning the hovercraft will be required this seed. There is no avoiding launching it. You do have to take it to turn in the Pinktail and to through the Evelyn Shallows. Got a Tella on the moon. Are we going to see the... Nah, we're not. I'm calling neither one of these racers is going to do any kind of giant grind. Get it out of your heads, chat. It's not happening. This is Adamant Cup. We're not going to the giant until we're ready to clear it.
Except, we do have a complete the giant of Babel objective here. And they could go in early with a D-Machine grind. Go in, decide they want to take it right here and now. Also, we do get a, we do get to see, what word am I looking for? We have a home ec teacher in the Dwarf Hut, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Job Dwarf has been checked. Hummingway shop selling coffins and heal pots. Coffins would be pretty nice for being able to knock out a quick egg if we find sirens elsewhere, but not able to purchase them at this time.
Yep, and Possum has seen all he has wanted to on the moon as Flurry has checked, and I do believe we do have chat saying silk webs, also another really great item to finder in Tamra as Flurry goes in, saves outside, and does look to be picking up some checks on the path to the Fame Arch here. So we're going to check to see what we've got in some of those here. But yeah, I'm not going to put that D-Machine out of our heads just yet. That could be an extremely cheeky quick grind just to possibly get giant levels and hit that objective very early and have a team that's ready to just confront the rest of the game after you're done with the giant.
Yeah. Flurry only checking the floor 1 chest here, not in any mood to reset out of the warrior fight. We'll see if Possum is a little more adventuresome with his loot chests down here.
I mean, even the bottom chests with an Earth Hammer and a Stardust item, pretty good there in the Feymarch proper. Grimoire always loved rolling that particular dice.
We have a Luca key in the rat tail chest. I have a feeling we might not be seeing that for quite some time. Not a required objective tonight, and that is a hike.
Yep, just a little bit. Possum did find our monster's chest, the bottom one on the 2nd floor here, and does seem to be intent on coming back and looting out the rest of the Fame Arch here with its slightly boosted treasures. Can say, very disappointed, no Evelyn yet.
Alright, Flurry here, going to give us our first peek at the Fame Arch bosses. Ugh!
We'll be back later. Yes, much later.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I think this team in the long run will not have too much issue with either of those, but it's definitely not something you're going to be doing, trying to, finagle your agility to do an early kind of cheese strat against.
Yep, also Possum striking gold with a cursed ring and some of the chests at a Flurry. Oh, also protecting Rune Axe. Some very good loot there on the way. The Rune Axe, even if just for money at that point, kind of worth the little bit of time he took extra here in terms of looting.
I mean, we have seen some seeds where Rune Axes have played MVP. Great for having that quadruple damage versus Baron Guards, Asura, Magus Sisters, and even the Ruby form of Elements. Don't sell it too quickly. You can get some mileage out of that thing.
Oh, absolutely, and I missed, so I'm going to see the next, we got a couple shop checks coming in here, see what kind of J items we do have available, and I totally blanked on that one there. So... Let's see here. Gonna sell a few things. I like that Earth Hammer. Do have a Leviathan summon in the Fame Arch there. Not exactly what we're looking for with our summoner out of the picture for the moment.
Yeah, and Possum buying the double Cat Claw. Now, Yang's damage algorithm, of course, relies heavily upon his level, but if you intend to take this monk to the endgame, you will very much appreciate that bonus agility and strength at the Z fight. I think this monk's going all the way tonight.
Oh yeah, if you're investing in 2 Kakwas, I would definitely venture to say you are there. And now Fleury is headed back up to the moon, going to find our moon old man, and we're gonna see where our runners go from there. Do we get maybe a possibly cheeky Sheila 1 here? And actually, oh no, for a moment, Possum's giving me the fake out. I'm like, I don't know if you can do Thunderstruck on base level Kane there, my friend.
Well, Possum did dig out that cursed ring. Flurry stopped looting. Possum got rewarded. Possum doesn't need a lot more to be able to handle a Thunderstruck on that Odin. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, we've seen Bacchus Wine, we've seen Coffins. Did we see Sirens or Hourglasses? I don't think we did.
I don't think we saw either one of them there. So yeah, I believe either they are in Evelyn Cave proper, or they are just not appearing in shops here. But
now this is going to be a
go ahead.
Slightly different situation for Flurry here, of course. Having done a lot of earthly looting, does have a little bit of money to finance a shopping jaunt on the moon, throwing out some unnecessary gear, and we are seeing a pickup of two coffins, just 2, not a whole lot.
Just enough for a Baron Guards fight.
Yeah, Possum confirming for us. I missed it when Flurry was there, but just elixirs for sell in Dwarf Castle, which, you know, if you don't find a reliable white mage or you want to go full Zerker, something else to keep in mind you might want to buy when you come through here later. If you come through here later.
Yeah, I mean, elixirs are very much clerics in a can, as one might say, who've played D&D, but otherwise a very extremely good healing item for Yang if we decide to keep him, as that hit point count does kind of balloon out to proportions where Cure 2s aren't going to cut it very quickly.
And we see another little more divergence. Flurry did not take the Sylph Cave route to prime Sheila 1, but Possum wants that freebie.
I like that a little bit here, given you're just not going to waste resources on either, just taking an in-stay, Cure 2. I feel kind of weird here. It's 10 minutes in, and we've done prep, we've done looting, and Flurry is giving us our Hobbs check to see who's up there. But I mean, throwing a few Cure 2s there, I can see Possum going straight for the defense, actually.
Yeah, I know that we have several J items. We found a couple of Stardust, a Boreas. Lots of ways here for the team to dish out damage to overworld fights in a hurry without having to rely upon levels or gear.
Well, our team is definitely not hurting for health here, as Flurry does see we have a Sid being combated by an Evil Wall up on Hobbs, and we have definitely a very toughness front-loaded party here to go along with that Tella. And also, I believe, oh yeah, we do have an Earth Hammer. That's actually extremely good for our Sid there. Do I see ordeals in the near future for both runners here?
I mean, you have your Tella. He is your only mage so far. Blink can get a decent distance, but having the rest of his spell suite is very nice. And of course, Cecil is still available in the group flags, and it's kind of hard to go through a full seed without finding some big hit and stick for him in the long run.
Oh yeah, especially I believe now, I'm not sure I'd really do it, but I'm sure even the moon is, especially with all those trap chests there, have a fairly large chance of a tier 8 though, but again, with some things you don't want to find. And also Flurry through that fight, and we find we find kind of who we don't want to see on this. I mean, Dima's taking a vacation over here at Fabul at the defense here, and just not nearly as in much demand as she used to be here.
Yeah, no boss hunts in play whatsoever this tournament. But if you're gonna fight a Demus, it's nice to fight it here on the blue planet before you get to the point where you're asking yourself, how many turned into mist cycles am I gonna sit through? I don't think Possum's gonna have to go through many here, if any at all.
No, it looks like trying to buffer out another. I don't know how many. Oh my, that's unfortunate having Kane go down to that hit there. But again, does have a double cat claw and ninja hat on that Yang. So Yang already, even at base level, actually starting to do a little bit of damage here.
Yeah, kind of impressed actually. And I was poo-pooing the idea of an early trip to the Giant, but we've not seen sirens in any shop. And you have at least this Yang who would be very happy to carry your team for the small price of a dozen dragons. So maybe we're going to be proven wrong. Maybe this is going to be the very exceptional Adamant Cup seed that merits such a play.
Also, speaking of things you love to find, over on Fleury's side, we do find a turtle, and things we like to find not in that 65k spot in the element slot, given that that spot is live and our runners will have to go through it. And just an arty bow over on the side of Fleury there for completing Antlion.
Yeah, but Possum getting the big payout, an Earth Crystal from Fabul Defense. We will probably be seeing a treasury pretty soon. You don't hate an Artemis bow. It's great agility manipulation at the cost of some of your magic stats.
I mean, we do have one of the best wielders of that arty bow in Sid in Fleury's party right now anyway, and he doesn't care about those magic stats.
And we do get the hook from Sheila1. So that's another big hunt down. That, of course, gives access to the Launch the Falcon objective. A pink tail lets you have that one as well. The number of key items we need is chipping away in a hurry. We're 15 minutes in and doesn't feel like there's that many to go.
Speaking of things we love to find in item shops, Possumorpheus finds the thing I love to find in an item shop, cabins. I never find those.
And Fleury nearly pulling off a cheeky kill on the centipede chest here. I kind of like going for it one more time here.
Absolutely love going for it one more time. Fleury came into that fight and had like no hit points, went through a couple of the damage floors. I would walk right back in there, honestly. Knowing, nope, Fleury is not doing that actually. But yeah, I might have walked in there, healed up, and taken a much better swing at it there.
Well, I'm sure he'll keep that in mind once we do have the pan and have to, well, we don't have to. We will very likely take another trip through this cave if when we do get it, he may keep that chest in mind.
Yeah, true, but I think at this point we are going to be raiding ourselves a treasury very quickly here.
Pretty good. Got one of Kane's arguable best in slot weapons, the defense sword, not one, but two Stardust rods, a white shirt. Tella's kind of about to have a good time until we find some other mages. But I think,
yeah, defense sword, even an hourglass was a nice hit in there.
I think that's the unsung hero of that treasury. Although, of course, Possum has the hook. They may just be for sale in Eblin Cave. They could just not be appearing in the seed, and if so, that one little J item is going to be extremely precious where you decide to burn it.
Meanwhile, Possum going to cash out here, saying, hey, this was part of your treasury. I don't want it anymore. Unfortunately, there was a cat claw in there, which does make the purchase of one of those two cat claws a little not so great, but I mean, that's just, you buy something in free enterprise, you're going to find it, 5 chests in, I believe the rule is.
Oh yeah, it's part of the program.
Meanwhile, Fleury did prime that Sheila 1 and is taking the demist fight here, is going to be rewarded with that same party rock and that hook. And the question now is, how fast do you want to take a shot at that Tower of Zot, knowing that you get 2 more gated characters, 2 more shots at the Cecil and Fusoya lottery here?
Well, you might not even be worrying about it that much after you do that treasury. For Fleury's sake, he'll find the cat claw and the poison claw in there Yang starts to look pretty good in the long run. Defense Sword looks great. Stardust plus White Shirt, any mage you find is going to be doing decent work. You might not even worry about it that much.
True, and like you said, I think that does kind of put us a little more, and I'm wondering actually if Possum's checking of those item shops down there was kind of hinting at the fact that he may, as Woobear is saying, did actually Possum pick up some of those ethers? Because if he picks some of those up, I am definitely thinking that D-Money is on the table for him.
There's a Soma drop still sitting in his inventory as well. He did not sell it for the cash. That is very strongly suggesting that Tella's going to end up with 100 MP this seed.
Yes.
Does not care about the Artie Bow, not even for the cash, not even with the Tella to cast exit. Get me out of here. We are moving on. So, correct me if I'm wrong here, but after Fleury raids this treasury and Possum takes care of this Hobbs check, we're completely equalized again. Oh.
Yeah, we are back to even here, which kind of shows that even with the routing, these two runners here, the pretty much extreme skill of both of them here. And I mean, there's just, and Possum says, no thank you, Sid, I don't want that, no thanks, and is deciding to head over to Baron Inn instead, it looks like here, after a quick re-equip as well, to see if fortunes are better in that regard.
Now, of course, Possum does have that cursed ring that Fleury does not, so able to be a little more discerning in taking slow characters for anchoring reasons. Fleury may be thinking, the Sid can kind of handle that in the end game, even with a bunch of levels. Possum may be thinking, I can put this on anyone and have a good time.
Possum also saying, hey, maybe I'll take this white mage here. And I think that glass hat might be on that Tella. Took 10, fell asleep, and might be a little awkward if Golbez decides to demolish the Tella. That's really interesting, actually, as Fleury is actually taking the hovercraft over to Cave Eblin, doing a little more looting there. Might be doing that as a character in last shop check. So we're going to see real quick if these Sirens and or Hourglasses are available for sale in the seed.
Yep, here we go. Checking the item shop now, and gotta do the inventory management first, otherwise you can't carry all this,
Everything must go. And
yeah, there's everything. All right. I was so hoping that our restreamer had given us a seed with the two big J item, the two big ones just completely lacking, but a little too generous. Speaking of which, huge shout outs to Psychonautnik here doing the behind the scenes work tonight, while we just get to yak and yak at these old hats playing this game.
Yeah, and Fleury definitely taking massive advantage of that, as Possum is still taking that, and we get a character check, and it is our Quack Kid, followed by yet another Lunar Sparkle. So we have two Lunar Sparkles identified, one here and one in Barren Castle. So our tricky Wyvern friend may be around in one of these parts, and that's a blue robe. And all rise for Senator Crocodile.
It's the entire conference of sewer seafood. Delicious. We're getting we're gonna go down to Nolans now. We're gonna get ourselves some fried gator po' boys. We're gonna get some nice, everything is here.
And the good
Possum
news
won
is,
this.
the good news is, as Woobear says, that Possum does have a pocket full of J items here, and can probably just toss them to get out of all these fights here.
Whew. That quadruple ice weakness on the alligators and the crocodiles. Goodness. Hey! I'm selling these fine leather caps.
Of the whole thing, where it's just like, wait, what did I? Oh no, gotta remember the Alt Gauntlet still drops you an item.
And here we go, 22.5 minutes in, Fleury is off to the grind races, putting the Sirens and the Coffins, and we may even see an Hourglass, to work here. Gonna power up the Quack Kid. Gonna power up the Punch Mage. I don't think we're gonna see a D money on Fleury's side of the screen today.
No, not with 5 Sirens, not with Hourglasses, not with all that. And I'm wondering if Possum is going to check that shop here before getting into that. But then again, just may want that Porum for having a good White Mage to do things with here. And at that point, might just be banking on Yang and Kane here to, as you said, kind of carry the seed here.
Yeah, only doing the 1 Siren for now, though. Wants to see a few more character checks. It makes sense. We have the Earth Crystal. We have Baron Inn sitting here. You don't want to have to go buy another stack.
Paging Dr. Pankraz. Paging Dr. Pankraz. We have your
Yo,
cat claws.
You like cat claws? Have all the cat claws you can carry. That's, you know, like as soon as you buy the item, you are guaranteed to find it, right? Right.
Seriously, are we really in for duplicate Yang here? Because I feel like we're in for duplicate Yang here.
Fleury here actually contemplating whether to do the Golbez fight or not. I walked halfway back out the inn.
I mean, that is an exceedingly rude Baron Inn. Golbez into all gauntlets, all for a cat claw. Not going to be liking what he sees at the end of this, but at least we get the laugh track.
That's true. That's true. And hey, you know what's great? You know, this Golbez fight, not gating our logical path underground. I can confirm that 100% tonight.
We do see Possum picking up and going to Cave Eblin here, so is going to get the news of this seed here of Sirens and Hourglasses existing, so that may be our final nail in the coffin in terms of D-Money here.
Here we go, the goat shop. Oh, I saw you pointing at that Soma drop. You gotta let it go. Not letting it go.
No, definitely not letting it go. Picking up 5 Sirens and 1 Hourglass there, and is also going to get the news of a Quack Kid in the back here. But again, with that Curse Ring, does have a lot more latitude in his choice of anchors here.
Yep. And Fleury making it through the Golbez fight with only Tella standing. This is a back row Tella who's pretty well equipped. We may see J-Item spam through this. Oh, no, we're picking up the kid.
I mean, to be fair, we both have been through the treasury, and I'm pretty sure that Tella has a glass hat. And I guess you want Palom to get these levels because, I mean, both of them are potentially packing Stardust Rods at this point.
That's true. You could just pop your Stardust Rod over and over with this Tella, and you're probably fine.
Anyway,
new ground being tread. Oh yes,
new ground, possibly large and dragon shape, because here we are. We're going up bound ordeals here, and you know, we kind of need that for a weak spell, so it's not completely off the table yet.
You know, it is kind of interesting here. This is one of the things about this flag set, and an interesting contrast here, because we did see Fleury pop that Siren to get a few extra levels here, but in terms of absolute checks being made, Possum still in the lead. Of course, faded the check on Hobbs, saying no need for a Sid, but Possum really leveraging his inventory, the items and the J-Items he's found, to take care of a lot of these fights, that even Fleury's levels they're not really contributing much for him right here, right now.
Well, I mean, that's not really a threatening Bomb there, with the attack power in that slot being exactly what it is, but it is just going to be annoying because you're not going to do the extra 9,000 worth of damage to pretty much just skip the exploding phase, so I'm going to guess it's just going to be punched until the Bomb decides to explode, and then, yeah, sitting over that item command waiting for that Stardust Rod.
Yeah. And Fleury has converted to the school of J. Adam spam. We see all of them being burned. How do you have 4 fire bombs this seed? What is this?
I believe we started with a few of those, actually. I'd
Oh,
have to go
okay.
back, and I believe those were part of our initial care package.
Feels like 4 is still a few too many.
Or is it not enough?
Possum through the first fight on Ordeals, about to cross the bridge. Turns the battle speed down. You know, I like this. So, oh, is it the very big? Yeah, it is the very big reason to turn your battle speed down. This fight is the one that makes me safety save on Ordeals, and I love the idea of just turning the battle speed down a notch to take care of it instead. Plague here, when you're anchored quickly, it can be very rude to get a reset off or to do enough damage, but Possum here had the expectation of something rude and looks to have been adequately prepared to deal with it. You love to see it.
Can very much agree here. I've definitely had a run or two get a little bit stalled due to excessive amounts of hubris here, just waiting, just running into Plague. This is seriously, as you know, the counts are down to 2 here, and yeah, at least as I'm watching here, just barely got that life potion off. Got a Star Veil as well here, so the fight is now academic, but that's how you lose some time right there.
I think that was the last possible tick right there.
Oh yeah. And that's why you turn the battle speed down.
Now the question is Fleury going to walk headlong into the Plague Trap? Fleury does have those levels from popping Sirens, so maybe this is an Ordeals fade up to Zot? Nope.
Let's find some Cure 3s here, but no, our runner's staying in semi-lockstep here. Well, strange as their lockstep may be, but
I keep rooting for Divergence, but the maybe it's just a side effect of both of them being such experts at the game that these are just the logical steps to take to increase your power party, your party's power at the right intervals, and this is just the way to do it. But I love cheek. I love a cheeky change of route.
yeah, just getting those other 2 up just to get some actual power in. Doesn't seem to be concerned, and again, I'm not sure. Are you, if you're Possum, are you just leaving Porum down for the memes, or are you just saying she's going to get plenty of XP later?
I mean, Possum did find Sirens, bought 5 of them. If she's not contributing to your turns right now, why have her enter the queue, you know?
True enough. But anyway, we are down to Plague. We are walking into the Crystal Room, and other than getting these spells on Tella, what are we presented with?
Well, it definitely won't be an alt gauntlet. That is out of the way. I think you're going to keep that.
Keep that as well. It makes it time neutral, and is that yet another Lunar Sparkle here? So what do we have here? Oh, it's just Pale Dim, so...
Not a problem.
Yeah, other than the D-Lunars here, one of those 2, especially watching that Falcon here, we have a 33% chance of it being a Wyvern and a 33% chance of it being an Ogopogo. Now, mind you, when they have to go do that, they could be well leveled past that Ogopogo then, but it could be potentially rude at that Rubicon spot.
Yeah, the fact that there is no key item gated by launching the Falcon, and the fact that we have to do the Giant anyway, I would be very surprised to see either runner do, well, really either of those before they've done a lot more of the seed and have their levels handy. No reason to gamble to tear through that hook route for
Oh yeah,
a long
especially
time.
with some of the stuff that you have to do here, especially with that pass in your hand right now. That's pretty much signaling that you can just, kind of go cruise through the moon. You can just, let sleeping hook routes lie until you absolutely have to go back for them.
Yeah. And Fleury getting a little bit of time on Possum in this Plague fight doesn't cut it quite so close. And we're going to very soon be running down the mountain side by side again. So checks will be even. Fleury has a few levels. Let's see if Possum goes and pops one of those Sirens yet.
I mean, I would assume he would, given he bought them, but I mean, again, why would you buy sirens to not use them?
Sometimes you just like looking at them. You like having them, just in case, there's a carbon monoxide leak. You got to know these things for safety's sake, and I do.
Yeah, and Possum is parking in front of, and looks to be heading towards the Tower of Zot here.
Yeah, right, Dazat. Uh, gonna see 2 more character checks up here. Gonna get advanced knowledge of whoever is at the second dwarf castle spot. And of course, there's always a key item check here.
And you know, there are lunar sparkles and low boss spots, but we can still have rude things in the 65k spot, although Turtle is off the table too, and that's everybody's favorite, right?
True. Now, so let's just say, for the sake of argument, you're not one of these 2 top-tier racers. You have access to the moon, you have the pass, so you know you never have to go there a second time. Are you, again, you're an amazing player of the game, and I do. You've been playing this game basically since the start. But let's say that you get paired up against Possumorpheus or against Fleury, and you're a little newer to the game. What options are you considering right now with your loot, your items, your team, to maybe get a little bit of counterplay going on?
Well, I mean, right now, if I have a little counterplay going on, and it kind of depends, honestly, right now, what I would like to do with this kind of party here kind of comes back to that rune axe that was found there. Honestly, I would, and again, this may not be kind of the whole thing here, but I have sirens, I have hourglasses. If I can find some mute bells, I have a rune axe in my pocket here. I would actually consider flying up to the moon and leveraging some of those items for a possibly warlock grind, actually. And also, we have a big doll over there on Possum's screen here. But just something to possibly just, like, cruise through the moon, get those key item checks out of the way, and get your grind done immediately, and just not have to look back on it.
Gotcha. So you would favor a moon dive. Go ahead. You got the pass. You have the tools to get your levels. Forget this blue planet. We got. Boom. Got the moon to clear out. I like it. I feel that we've not seen a whole lot of early moon plays since the days of, Possum's name scheme here with the old school, Zemazone 1 reference. I think Zemazone 2 is the last time we really saw some real heavy early moon plays. So, yeah, I would love to see 1 or 2 of those this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I would love to have an adamant armor before I went up there, and I'd actually like mute bells a little bit better, just because you can forestall the opening shots and not have to take 3 fairly large fire 2s to the face. But
here we go, neck and neck. Fleury, of course, I believe has Quake active on that Palom. Gonna have a slightly easier time with the dolls, but this is a Fu So Ya in slot 1. So I think maybe the Quack Kid isn't long for the team. Well, no. Tella is not long for the team.
I can see him I can see him ditching the Quack Kid, keeping the Tella, latching that curse ring onto the Tella, and not looking back.
Well, Fleury doesn't have the curse ring, though.
Oh, true. I mean, Possum in this case, but Fleury, yeah, Fleury's probably gonna, I can see Fleury bringing the Tella at that point.
Yeah. We do see that Sid is our 1 duplicate character, the Seed. I don't think he's the one who gets to join the team.
I think he's just going to, maybe he can just, take out that little trap there, move that iron ball, craft it into something, and Possum does keep the Tella around.
I have never seen a cursed ring go on a character as fast as Possum menued that right there. I think we need to go do a frame count on that. That was the best menuing I've ever seen in Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise.
So we do have Fu in at 1200. Does have a couple tier 3s. Does not have Virus, Quake, or any of that. But again, those tier 3s are usually pretty good here in terms of Fu doing damage until we get to the big things here, and we get some Baron guards. That's we got plenty of tools for those guys.
Yeah, there's at least, at a cursory examination, there's the Toad spell, there's Hourglasses, there's a Rune Axe, there's the Fatal spell, there's Stone. Possum has all these things. And Tella is living his best life.
Are we gonna get a Curse Ring middle slot stone here from Tella? Is it going to hit land? Oh, no, it's not.
Womp womp. That's even he still has a Stardust Rod equipped. Tella, come on, man. Don't do Possum dirty like that. That's 2 in a row. That's 2 whips in a row.
The stone spell will do as it will, but a Fire 3 and a couple swings do clean this up here, so that's done.
I would be ditching this Tella at the next available opportunity. You had your chance, old man.
You have failed me for the last time. Anyway, Rosa just learned Exit.
Ooh, and Fleury relying on the Quack Kid, but doesn't have quite enough to deal with the 3,000 HP apiece. So eating a few more attacks here than he bargained for.
Meanwhile, that's a spicy tower key, and I would be tempted.
Well, I mean, there's a pretty good reason to be tempted. It is an objective.
It is an objective, yes. And, oh, okay, Possum's like, wait, where's Possum going? And I'm like, oh, I see where Possum's going. Possum wants more spells on Fu.
Yeah, that Fu lacking a lot of the super fast and super wide spells. You know, you want your nuke and your virus for quickness. You want your quake to hit everything on the table at once. So gonna probably see a couple more of these bosses taken care of until we see one of those real key spells pop on Fu.
We get across a few more names off the bingo sheet there. Like Leviathan.
Another percentage HP damage enemy, not in play anymore.
But now Fu
Ogo's still
knows
up.
stone. But now Fu knows stone, so we really don't want that Tell anymore.
Yeah, I'll note that Fleury's Fu did know stone, courtesy of taking that one Hobbs fight.
Speaking of things I kind of wish was at the 65k spot, it is apparently leg day in the waterfall here.
How bad is glare at this spot? Okay.
Enough to kill Kane.
I think that Kane does have a Dragoon piece of armor on, so okay. I learned something new today.
That said, Fu is still Fu, but we do see an eyeball over there on Flurry's checking it out and getting a Leviathan orb. You hate to see it.
That Thunderclaw Yang in the first slot here, just getting an instant turn basically to one-shot any security eye. I think if you're going to take these, given how relatively low tier the loot is, as well as how low the XP value is, that's the setup you want. You want lightning damage, you want a big hammer, you want something that'll just one-shot them without having to devote real investment into the fight.
Just remember they do have near perfect magic defense, so magic is definitely not the way to go with those.
Now, Fleury are actually going into the cannon room first. Are we going to see a Penguinator special tonight? This soon? This early? This time of year? Localized entirely within the Tower of Battle?
I mean, it is an objective, but I think it is, and even if it wasn't an objective, 2 key items and more spells, and I'm pretty sure that was at least a virus, and no small amount of swag there as well.
Yeah, chat pointing out, you are getting another 100 HP and 3 spells on Fu. It's more a shout out because Fleury was Penguinator's old 2v2 partner back when 2v2s were a little more frequent, so you can always hope for an homage. We are back at Xenozone 1 apparently, according to Possum's name scheme, right?
Yes, according to Possum's name scheme. I mean, Possum was, I believe, the one of us that weren't there, but I believe Possum stepped up around Xenozone 2, if I recall.
Definitely no worse for missing the early wear, that is for certain.
I mean, what, you didn't like old-style Crystal Hunts and going straight to Z?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Hey, another freebie here on the blue planet, so this is Dark Imps and Baron Guards, both taken care of, not going to be waiting for us in the Giant or on the Moon.
So the big question is, does Tella land stone on these guys?
I mean, Fleury has hourglasses to spare, so let's see. Well, he doesn't have a Tella anyway. What am I saying?
Oh yeah, but I'm sure Possum might throw that one out there.
This is your chance for redemption, Tella. Show us what you're made of. Fu bringing it today, landing them off center slot without even having the accuracy bonus. Fleury getting a little bit of luck here to complement his skill.
And speaking of large paladin sticks, that is one that just dropped there.
Yeah, Fu learning Nuke and getting the X-Cal drop. I think we may be seeing a Dwarf Castle visit pretty soon for the character check.
Yeah, that X-Scout definitely would say, hey, you want a paladin? Because we've got something for him. And we are running a little bit out of checks here in terms of characters. We still have package Sand Ruby. I don't think anybody checked the bed there. One behind Baron and one on the Giant. So what? 25% chance? I don't know, 20% chance to see our resident paladin there at Dwarf Castle.
And Possum Sue here saying, anything you can do, I can do just as well. Landing stone first try off slot. It's amazing what you can do when you don't place your faith in Tella.
Things you would never hear after some of our previous tournaments where Tella was definitely some of the be-all, end-all, but then again, with D-Money slightly off table and D-Money almost definitely off the table here now, we're going to fly onto our airship and see that we have, well, and never mind, I guess they're going to go check that now.
Yep, 2 freebies on the table. Hey, Fleury, remember that centipede chest? Oh, gosh darn it.
I mean, I didn't remember centipede chest until you just pointed it out, so...
I am a... Oh, pardon me. Sorry, a frog in my throat. I am a big believer in the Sylph Cave trap chest. You mentioned Eblin Castle, which neither runner visited today. Early Magma contributing chiefly to that. But I love the cheeky Sylph Cave chest. Finding something good in Adamant armor or something comparable to, in a place that a lot of people do not like to loot.
Yeah. Now, Possum does know where the Warriors' chest is on the path to the Fey March as well, and I wonder if they happen to go back down there towards that large amount of rudeness that's sitting down there. I wonder if they might, or Possum might check that one. Then again, with that X-Scout in your pocket there, you're kind of hunting for what exactly? Adamant armor at this point?
Yeah, Adamant armor. I mean, even the Crystal Sword is kind of meaningless if you don't find the Paladin, so... But if you had 10 key items and you just want a little extra XP on the way to the Fey March, it's respectable XP. I remember you used to be fond of it back in the day, right?
Very much was, actually, there. Now, mind you, I just liked it for... before Treasure got a little more weighted there. Also, throw another Artie Bow on the pile, would you?
We're in a curious situation now. That is the package. We need 1 pink tail for go mode.
Yes, it is.
And and how many checks are open right now?
1, 2, 3, a lot. Yes, let's say a lot.
That's very interesting to me. Because this has effectively become, just 1 item to go, and the conventional... There's Cecil. Ooh, I bet Fleury sits... This is a dilemma. Like, you don't have any amazing physical attacker on your team, so I think you do sit through the Kaipo cutscene at this point, in spite of the extra time sink. But yeah, with this many checks, we always like to say chase your objectives. On this flag set, it's a little less priority just because of how much you have to complete. But when you get down to 1 key item to go, I think you have to reconsider things a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I like chasing objectives when they have possible required or, past other key items there. But in terms of, that, I mean, I don't care about the Falcon right now. But, I mean, right now, with just exactly 1 key item remaining, and what it's White Spear, ribbon room, so you have 3 key item checks that are down below. It's hard for me not to say to the moon right now.
Of course, then you have the dilemma that comes up after that, right? What do you do when you complete the those 3 altars or pardon me, what happens when you complete those 2 altars and you still don't have the pink tail? What do you do then?
I'm probably saying I'm already up there. Let's go poke our head at more bosses here. Because, again, it has been said that a lot of the rude bosses, especially Asura there is more annoying than rude, but a lot of the teeth kind of have been pulled off of this particular moon. Now, I'm sure there are more, and it's definitely not that Kaipo Guards fight. But we do have... we do have something in the bin here. I don't know what it is.
Kind of. Oh, and if you thought the Kaipo fight was normally slow, wait till we add an extra phase to it. Luckily, though, I think Fleury has such a massive agility advantage that Dr. Dialogue here is not gonna get to say a whole lot today.
You don't want to see the true fight? You don't want to watch? Because neither do I, really.
Got a creepy crawly hand. Got a Cecil being added to the team.
Now, the big question here is, yes, got the Cecil added to the team. One possible likely find, and yeah, it's going full power there, especially since we do know where Bacchus wines are, so, you know, we can just go grab a 30 pack for, whenever.
Yeah. Now, of course, Fleury does not have the curse ring that Possumorpheus has. And the 20 agility on Fu can be a little tricky. If you got a ninja hat and a crystal ring, you're kind of great. You put them at 28, you have a good time. Otherwise, 20 is a very awkward agility break point. And you just have to hope that you have enough, power or, timing and luck to make up for it. So,
yeah.
But it's hard to argue with Defender Kane, Excal Cecil, and Double Cat Claw Yang for Fleury as well in the long run.
Yeah, now mind you, we did see... we did see... we haven't seen Wyvern yet, still.
So Wyvern, Ogo, and
D-Linners,
right?
Yes. Yeah. And we do have 2 boss spots, and one of them being at that ruby slot, so you definitely have to kind of take that into consideration. Possum seeing a Iridia in the bed saying, I'm not really interested in that. I actually do believe that with that Excal in Possum's pocket, though, and Burning Mist being required, that I also see that Paladin, and then we're back to equality with these two, and again, guessing where would they go. Actually, Possum is ahead of the Dwarf Castle check, but that's about it.
Right, Possum is ahead that, and more notably, he's ahead a key item here, which can create a temptation, because Possum is now going to be at 9 key items with this package. That personally tempts me a lot to try to get 1 more before I go Moon, just so you get double XP from everything. On the other hand, you do have 2 altars too at the bottom, and the White Spear one doesn't have a lot of XP anyway. You have Sirens, so you can get your team online very quickly. The question is that XP going to make a difference? Is it going to let Possum accelerate past Fleury here, who clearly has no interest in going to Dwarf Castle tonight, it seems?
Indeed, does have an interest in going to the moon, so we are going to actually get the mystery revealed here of, are we going to find that pink tail payoff here? Possum is going to march in here, and I would guess, again, since we do have to sit through the Burning of the Mist cutscene here, that Possum will also be availing himself to the Cecil here.
The Excal and the fact that you will have an adamant armor by endgame is... that's all I need. That maybe add in the fact that you've seen Golbez, you've seen the Alt Gauntlet, you're not getting an extra long fight in Kaipo. I think you definitely take the Cecil.
Yeah, yeah, especially seeing both of those fights. Yeah, so it's why I definitely say, hey, I know I see trackers out there. I love running a boss tracker because I just kind of like looking at it. I'm like, okay, what kind of rudeness do I have left in this seed that I might have to take care of?
Now, Fleury does have a stack of sirens and a stack of hourglasses. Okay, we do see stopping right here at the final tile where you can get the double gold dragon fight. Gonna see a
And
little bit of
even
leveling here.
yeah, and even without having the even without having the double XP here, this is still you do have uh, access to the weak spell. You're going to life glitch at least once. They did get 2 blitzes off. That's kind of interesting there, but yeah, you will at least still get for a single life glitch here 90,000, and that's not much to sneeze at given that Cecil's at level 1 right now.
Oh yeah, and with that Excal, it's not going to take a lot of levels for him to be really at damage parity with the rest of the team at this point. So much stronger than the defense sword, and Yong's going to get there. He's not there yet, but he's going to get there.
Oh yeah, we're not sleeping on Yong at all here. I mean, still 2 cat claws, at least a ninja hat. Also, your other potential recipient of said adamant armor, as Yong will do surprisingly good amounts of damage with just a few more levels here.
I love to see the kick kill on Dr. Ligay and Paladin.
It is actually surprising how much we've been talking about the sirens that Fleury has used here, even with just the Dwarf Castle, that Possum has hit some kind of parity in terms of levels with Fleury prior to that siren there.
Taking the ninja hat off of Fu to slow him down just a little bit. Looks to be contemplating whether to do a second one or not. Here we go. We are going to see another siren for Double Dragon.
Yep. Interesting that Possum is actually ditching Kane here, knowing that I know he does know, as he affectionately calls Canerstruck, for that Odin that still is sitting in the Fame Arch. Now again, 1 key item left, so the odds of needing him aren't great, but again, one of your ways to mostly painlessly deal with the Odin fight down below should it come necessary.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but Possum is going to have, by the time he goes back to the blue planet, a high-level Yang with a Cat Claw and a Thunder Claw. I don't think he's going to be that worried. I think we will probably, if we're lucky, and the Pink Tail is behind that Odin, we're going to get to see quad 9 Yang punches tonight, and I'm excited for that.
You love to see it. Is Possum going for hair dryers here?
Show me Adamant Armor Crystal Sword.
I mean, it is a moon trap chest, so yeah, that's why not?
Fleury done with the grind. So we're going to be getting a sight of these required moon bosses soon.
Now, I will say it's going to be strange. We do see Possum setting up a back row Cecil there. It is going to be strange because in the bracket flags, looking just a little bit farther ahead here, that's going to be taken away from us, actually.
Both the Cecil and the back row glitch. You get nothing.
Good day, sir.
For what it's worth, though, I'm kind of excited about seeing the back row glitch removal in action. By the way, Mylon and Gas here. We have spare hourglasses. This fight's completely non-threatening for Fleury's team, of course. But the lack of the back row glitch suddenly puts a premium on armor, I think, and of course white mages with blink in a way that we've not seen before. A lot of these high physical attack power spots, we've been able to just stick your fighters in the back row and not worry about it.
Possum just hit what I think he just hit.
He clicked through it so quickly, but if it's what you think it is,
that was absolutely adamant armor in the hairdryer's chest.
Okay, if it's what you think you saw, it'll be equipped very soon. So that puts Fleury on the clock. Fleury really needs to see either an bonus adamant armor for one of these checks, or he's got to hurry. this gap is about to close, and it is going to close super quickly.
Yeah, we've got even that Cecil's still getting like 20 levels off of that. So Adamant Armor Excal, and he's been probably past the damage parity here. He's just going to be swinging for absolutely ludicrous amounts of damage already. And Mylon just kind of wants to punch today. He does have quite a lot of that. I don't know the exact percentage, but I know he's got actually quite a lot of that HP front-loaded into him in the spot here.
Cecil crunching away at about 3,000 apiece. Young going just a little shy of 2,000 apiece. Blink and lightning defense, though. The team is safe. It's just an issue of speed at this point, of course.
Yep, at this point is moving Fu over to going nuclear here, which, hey, that's faster, right?
Now, does Possum take any grind at all here? No, even with the relatively low-level Cecil. Possum has adamant armor, does not care. Keep on moving. I do wonder if he's going to go for the other altar first, because again, one more key item puts him at double XP.
I would absolutely consider it with that in mind there. Again, 100,000 to 200,000 is just, yeah, and there goes the adamant armor on the Cecil. And just a pair of swords there, one of them a key item, one of them not in the ribbon room there, so even required as it was, not something you exactly wanted to see as Fleury yet.
Yeah, so Fleury lights up number 6, is up 1 objective check on Possum, but Possum is up an adamant armor on Fleury, and they do work.
Here's Baigen, and Baigen actually has one of the few attacks in the game that does not actually care about adamant armor here, as Possum is picking up that Tella. Probably just wants another target for that vampire, which does actually go after Cecil. Now, mind you, it wasn't going to kill him, but it is kind of interesting to see that. Baigen kind of rude, well, anywhere, honestly, but now that Fu has the Quakes going out here, and I believe Berserk on that Cecil, the fight is kind of well in hand when you can kind of keep those arms just in a steady pace of just regenerating, where Baigen really doesn't hit you much, as opposed to having all 3 arms available, and that just kind of gets bad sometimes.
Yeah. So another more subtle advantage that Possum does have here, I think, is the anchoring. The cursed ring on the Tella means that for all these speedy moon fights, as well as, of course, the final fight, Zeromus, Possum has turn parity here in a way that Fleury doesn't really with the 20 agility Fu anchor. So right now, Fleury has the level advantage. Possum has a gear advantage and huge, which gonna need it to close this gap at this point. This is very thrilling, very exciting race tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Fleury does have one extra body here in terms of having that cane available, and that defense sword is nothing to sneeze at, but it's the thing where, again, you can just lean on Cecil and are... Oh, well, that's an adamant rock, and is the 10 key items, is the forge, which you really don't have to do here, since you already have an Excalibur.
Yeah, we won't be seeing Forge from Possum, that's for sure, not having the Excal already. But the big thing is that means Possum's going to get roughly 200,000 XP from this Mylon fight.
And based on the levels and hit point values we're already seeing on Fleury's side on Baigen there, that's going to actually make up a ton of... That's actually going to make up exactly one of those Gold Dragon fights with change there. Again, both of these... now, I know both of them are extremely good at lower level strats. Will do Fu and Friends, will do anything like that. So, I mean, they're already pretty much exactly where they want and or need to be to just finish the game right now, and everything else is gravy. But, you know, hey, you've got an Adamant Excal Cecil, you've got a Yang with Double Cat. Why not lean into it a bit?
Now, the funny thing, though, is that, like you said, you know, they're both ready to beat the game, but they both need one more item. And I think that it's going to be the location of said Pinktail that determines the winner of this race. If it's sooner, I think Fleury still has a great shot at this. because it lets him equalize the adamant armor front. A second adamant armor, not nearly as strong as your first adamant armor. It's still really good, but the more of these boss fights that Fleury has to churn through, if we find a Baron key and we have to go through there, every single one of these that doesn't give us the pink tail is Possum cutting that distance. So it's all coming down where that's going to be located, I think.
Yeah, and you could definitely see it even on that Baigan fight where, yeah, he used a little bit more time trying to keep that Tella upright, but yeah, just this Cecil churning out that damage here and really not afraid of anything. As we do see elements on the Ogopogo slot, and just a stark reminder that even if we do find that pigtail right now, we've got a Falcon to launch, we've got a Giant to destroy. I mean, the XP, again, what you're going to get off this moon is great, but what it comes down to is there is a ton of XP to go around. We are going there. Both these runners are going to absolutely clown on Zeromus.
Yeah, the final fight of the game is not an issue. Both these runners have already beaten the seed, but
Yes.
they have to beat each other to get the win. So I will note that Fleury entered the Elements fight at roughly 1 hour, 3 minutes, 15 seconds. I want to see when Possum enters that same fight, because again, Possum's done all of Dwarf Castle. If this Pinktail is not on the moon, that's also a big time sink for Fleury to go through with all the cutscene time.
Yep, I am looking at one key item in particular that both of them have their hands on, and one that could be faded, and one of them that just kind of happens to. That you said we're not checking that anytime soon. I really don't want to go to Sealed Cave, is what I'm saying.
You know, I don't hate it because at least you get to see the item. What I do hate is if we go to look at it and it is either the rat tail or the Baron key. That's when you feel kind of bad about it.
Yeah. Anyways, does look like Possum is pulling at really 104.52 there.
Well, speak of the devil, there is the rat tail. Now, do you save scum it, leave a save point here on the moon, and go see if that is your go mode, turning into a pink tail? I
think I like that, actually. I mean, just because of what it could be. I mean, even if you just want to park yourself like at the Crystal Sword altar, just in case. But I mean, if it was anything other than just having one check, not so much. But I mean, right here, the pull is strong. Let's say that.
We see this Ice Claw Yang doing 6,000 damage to the Ruby form of elements. You love to see it. I love seeing a well-equipped Yang properly leveraged for elemental damage against properly weak enemies, and Possum is putting on a showcase with this monk tonight. Very enjoyable.
I mean, we just like Yang punching things whenever, but yeah, when he punches things for, nearly 7,000 damage, just, yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, we fawn all over double cat claw to be sure, but like anytime you can leverage those elemental weaknesses with Yang is just absolutely wonderful. And again, as seen here, and as predicted here, Possum is further cutting into that lead of Fleury and is right on his heels, honestly. Both of them running, neither of them deciding to save scum that tail here, both of them just flying straight toward it, absolutely free fight.
Yeah. Less than a minute apart. Fleury really desperately needs to get an adamant armor. Needs to get an adamant armor or a pink tail soon. If not, it'll just come down to luck of the draw, luck of the check. Where do you go? Where do you find the pink tail? Do you go somewhere different from your opponent? But this is neck and neck tonight, and that is not a pink tail. This is now the danger zone for Fleury. He may not realize it, but that adamant armor and that cursed ring are combining in such a strong way for Possumorpheus that if Fleury doesn't guess correctly, I think this dub is going to Possum tonight.
Yep, and so we're down. I mean, a white shirt's not bad, honestly, but it's not adamant armor, and Interesting that Possum decided just to straight up berserk Cecil here, and does get the outchip after about like 6 swings here. He was probably like mostly dead already, but
Here we go, Fleury not going to peek the rat tail, committing to never coming back to this moon. Freebie in the pocket, but does not care.
I can't even say I really blame him here, especially with things to me, Moon, Fame Arch, pick one. If I go down there and I have the means to deal with it, I'm probably more towards I'm just going to clean sweep it so I never have to come back, especially with that pass in my pocket.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, your fights are going pretty quickly with this team. The XP you get is going to speed up your future fights, but at the same time, you know you're getting a ton of XP from the Giant, too, eventually.
Yes, and 108.33, and well, that's actually something that Adamant Cecil is also not going to accelerate because they're putting their controllers down, taking a drink, talking about their day, stretching out, doing anything other than concentrating on this fight right here.
No, I think that Possum probably pulls ahead this fight. I think the properly anchored Tella here, if we're not going for the kill, I think Possum's going to be nearly exactly equal here, just because of how much faster the turns are going to go on King Queen Evelyn. Well, maybe the difference is more than I thought it was.
I mean, it's really only about 20 seconds here, but
yeah, this is definitely a fight where... Ooh, that's a shiny. This is definitely a fight where the Cursed Ring is saving you time instead of the Adamant Armor is saving you time. It's kind of cute.
Yep. So, now that does... I mean, the Crystal is obviously an upgrade for both of them, but, again, it just does kind of exacerbate the whole Possum has a Adamant Armor and Fleury does not, and that Crystal Sword is just going to hit that much harder as Fleury goes to complete the last part of the moon here by moving over to K Bahamut. And we'll see if there is value at the Bahamut stand.
The Adamant Armor's plus 15 strength and agility, giving typically 3 extra damage multipliers, is going to really be amped up with the attack power of that Crystal Sword.
Solaris, the X-Gal that both of them are carrying around was a reward from top of tower, and who was at the top of tower again?
Oh, goodness. Help, chat, help. Dark Imps, yes, it was one of the freebies. Thank you.
Meanwhile, speaking of dark things, we do have a Dark Knight sitting at inside, and Fleury is switching over to DKC standard time here. Yang actually ought to just be enough to just tank all 3 hits regardless, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I believe the max damage this can do is 1,305, and Yang has more than 3,915.
Yep, and now, I mean, throwing a Cure 3 seems like overkill, but yeah, Yang just kind of yawns, laughs it off. And Possum should actually have no trouble either. Fu is going first, dropping in a Cure 4. Cecil will actually survive without any extra help here as well. So yeah, both of them through, no problem whatsoever.
But Possum has overtaken the Justice popping before it does on Fleury's screen. That's the swap over. Possum has the additional check, but now even in the neck and neck progression is in the lead. This may come down to well, let's see what this is. Okay. This may come down to the difference between a sealed cave, a barren castle, and a Fey March. In fact, I think it will. It's just who goes to the right place on the blue planet now.
So I would definitely ask you, given where you are with both of these runners here, you're headed back down to the blue planet. You are still 1 check to go. Where do you go? You
have to check the rat tail first. You have no choice. That's a gimme. After that, Flurry's in a bad way here because Dwarf Castle is a K main check. K main checks are weighted more heavily than K summon. So if you get the Baron Key here, Dwarf Castle's a slightly faster one, but Baron Key is 2 checks together.
No, I was about to ask, and Possum kind of beat me to it here. Do you just kind of, I mean, you're in the neighborhood already, and there's a giant that needs to be felled here. Why not just go ahead and take care of that?
Yeah, this is really, really clever, because you see Flurry here is moving that hovercraft away from Evelyn. If Possum wants to right here, after he's done with Giant, he can land. He can go ahead and do the hook route with the hovercraft right there. He doesn't have to move any vehicles around here, and that's going to save like another minute.
Yep, and we do see that the Rat Tail was a gold apple, unfortunately a zonk there, so Flurry is, while seems like while Possum is going to be rolling through the Giant here, is going to be doing checks as quickly as possible here. Unfortunately, probably going to Dwarf Castle first, if I might figure here. Nope, making the liar out of me here. Oh, going to the Fey March. Okay, this is actually the play Flurry needs to stay in here. Needs to find some value here in the Fey March.
Yeah, this is actually good for us from a viewer and commentary perspective, of course. If Flurry had gone to Dwarf Castle there, I think you could have probably stuck a fork in this race. But this is the possible save here. Possum's going to tear through these fights, get tons of XP. Hey, we know where all the sparkles are.
We do know where the sparkles are. Oh, which one is this one? Oh, that's rude, but Possum is equipped for it there. I mean, it's rudish.
Yeah, this fight would normally not please you, except for the fact that you have a Crystal Sword Adamant Cecil, you have a full power Fu, you have a Young with 4,000 HP.
And you have an old man with a large piece of anchor wrapped around his belt, let's say that.
Not to be discounted, that's actually very handy at this super high agility spot.
And we see Cecil taking out about 5,000 hit point chunks of this Ogopogo with each swing here. So that's about 13, 14 swings here, and that's done.
Flurry's like, why is no one getting a turn? Why is no one getting a turn? Oh, battle speed 6. That's why no one is getting a turn.
Oh, yeah, that is... Well, yes, that is battle speed 6 there. Was still on DKC standard time there. Also kind of the reason why, a little bit why that kind of went a little... But, did turn that back up to 1, is going back in, and, again, Flurry should actually have no trouble whatsoever with these fights either.
Ooh, that double wave of Ogo, though, but carves through, sadly not getting the big dose, 205,000 XP that Yang is missing. Crystal Sword Cecil has things under control, but you know, Yang's done so much work for this team since the start. Breaks my heart just a little.
Yeah, I mean, he is still in a wonderful place here, and I would have loved to get the XP on that Yang as well, but you know, we're through, and that's really all we care about there, and especially with yet another even better XP spot coming up at the CPU area here, which actually has some of the best combined physical and magic attack stats in the game here. Not to be taken lightly, actually. Doesn't have the most hit points in the world, but it punches hard no matter what it is, honestly.
I think Possum can take it lightly. Wait.
Dathus?
Oh, that's cute. The going for swag strats here, Zerking, queuing up the Meteo, believing in this team's ability to take down this fight. That Meteo's probably not going off before some globes come out, though. Cecil targeted all the wrong things.
Meanwhile, a Twin Harp over on that Valvolus, and the chain possibly continues here.
And that CPU goes down with the orb only hit Tella. What more could you ask for?
Possum says, exactly according to plan. Why do you ask? And Flurry is actually jettisoning from the Fee March, saying, I've got music. Let's go, I guess, throw everything on. I mean, I like the gamble from where we're sitting, actually, because it is what Flurry needs to stay in this.
I mean, Possum is known for his opinions about what to do when you have a twin harp. Uh, so, we talked about how, even these two runners are in their skill levels. But if you're feeling a little worried, if you're feeling, the breath of your opponent down the back of your neck when you're 80 minutes in and need one item to go mode, this is a play that can just give it to you when you know your opponent's predilections.
So Possum will likely go and check. I mean, that hovercraft is still there, but will likely go and check. Actually, is there an airship in the area? Or oh no, just actually never mind.
Hovercraft
Possum's
here.
saying, I'm just going to go launch the Falcon now too.
Yeah, this is absolutely brilliant on Possum's part. This is the minimum amount of vehicle flipping that you have to do here. Admittedly, rat tail hanging feels a little like, yeah, but at the same time, you have to do these objectives anyway. Your team is strong enough to wreck them. You save a good minute of flight time, especially given that the whale is involved. Big fan of Possum's routing this seed. Big fan.
Meanwhile, I think we are going to observe a little bit of radio silence, unless Rivers is in the chat here. Otherwise, when I keep talking here, but I believe we do have some music coming in play here very soon.
Fusoya hitting himself in the head with a stick. Let's go. All right. Water Hag there. Dark Elf here. Does the Twin Heart pay off?
Oh,
That's a whammy.
you hate to see it. Now, Flurry did, I want to say, left a save back at the Fey March, so that was at very least, we say yes, it was a properly scummed check there, but unfortunately, that's definitely not what we wanted to see either.
Not at all.
Meanwhile, what Lunar sparkled in? It's the D-Lunars, so that does mean our Wyvern is safely sequestered within Baron Castle, which the runners may not have to hit at all, honestly, here. And, again, we just berserk this Crystal Sword Cecil and is, that's an adventure, that's right.
Yeah, this is absurd multipliers against these D-Lunars. Nothing to worry about here. Chat's asking, does it have to be Baron? There is still Sealed Cave hanging. It's either this spot, or it's Sealed Cave.
But speaking of letting Yong do ludicrous numbers with the Thunderclaw, we are about to see that at least.
Show me the quad 9.
Oh,
Oh!
Odin says
Odin!
we won't be having any of that. Thank you very much.
You got to hit that reset button. You got to hit that right now. You are not getting through all 35,000 here.
Oh no.
Fleury's actually in kind of a pickle here. If that Yang... Fleury doesn't get this if Yang's not standing. He doesn't have the anchoring. Possum could actually have his Yang get killed at the Odin fight and still win it. Fleury, I think, kind of has to hope to survive the Zantetsuken here.
Can you survive the Zantetsuken here? Yes, you can actually. Okay.
Leviathan's kind of a magical scrum, so it's fine. But I want my big Yang hits, so Possum, please give me my big Yang hits.
Yeah, Possum will. We're just gonna get big Fu nukes here, and actually is going to come back up and is probably Rat Tail time. Yeah, probably Rat Tail time. Anyway, Odin has. Guess where we're going?
Yep, we are going to Sealed Cave. Sealed Cave will have the Baron Key, and then the Baron Key. Well, Fleury still has Dwarf Castle on his plate, but once Possum gets through all this, we know here in the booth. And y'all down there in chat, we know Baron Key in Sealed Cave. Baron Castle will have a spoon and a pink tail. We're seeing probably this entire seed today at this rate.
We're absolutely seeing this entire seed. And I'm wondering if that's actually a bad thing for Fleury here. Because now Possum... Oh wait, Fleury actually still has Dwarf Castle outstanding now that we think about it here.
I think Fleury's in trouble here. I think if he peeks this Baron Key and decides... Like, he's going to peek this item first, because if it's the pink tail, you're in go mode, right? You know it before you leave.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you necessarily go to Baron first. So I think Fleury is in a lot of trouble at this point.
Yeah, definitely wants Possum to head into the Fey March here, and definitely take a look at that Twin Harp there, just to at least go time neutral on that particular check here. But I don't really see it. I see Possum getting that Twin Harp and saying, well, I'm already underground, and Luca is my exact last check here. And then I could see going for the twofer over in the Baron area as well, is the thing.
And I feel it's an important thing to point out, both regarding these two expert racers, and anyone who's looking at this race, trying to get extra knowledge, things to learn about the game to get better at playing it. And I don't think either racer has made a meaningful mistake at all. They took different routes, different strategies, none of which are wrong. But a couple of key pieces of loot here have made a huge difference. The cursed ring that Possum found by digging a little deeper into the cave on the way to Feymarch, and of course, spiking that adamant armor on the moon. We know how strong that adamant armor is. It's not surprising, and that's something you have to decide in your race. When do you cut off your looting, and how hard do you go in the paint looking for the best piece of gear in really any RPG, right?
Yep, absolutely. And there you go. There's your quad 9s from Yang there at one certain Odin spot there.
That was so fast.
Yes, and but the thing is, it's exactly how you said it. If I am Fleury right now, and I'm feeling extremely good at how I'm playing this seed right now against like 95% of my opponents. Against Possum, I'm feeling a little twitchy. And that's more just because I'm nearing a 17 out of 17 / 28 out of 28.
Yeah, and there's also the fact that Fleury did, one trap chest all seed? Wiped to the centipede chest, didn't go back for it. Took one alert in lower Babel. So
Flame Dog, I believe, too, but nothing much coming out of there.
Yeah, adamant armors are in play. It's the adamant cup. And when you're 90 minutes deep in the seed and you've not found one, you may have to start worrying that your opponent just found one from a trap chest, whether you're doing it for the loot, for the XP, for any of those reasons. It's something to worry about.
Oh yeah. Again, I played a lot of Possum earlier, and I'm actually extremely surprised that, we joke about the whole Eblin Castle thing, but he is a giant proponent of it, so I am actually surprised to see that those weren't checked. now, mind you, usually it's more, hey, I have a Cecil and I need a Holy Sword, and we did kind of have the Holy Sword before Cecil showed up, so that's probably part of it too. But yeah, spiking that Adamant and spiking the Adamant, spiking the Curse Ring, it was a little early, so yeah, that's definitely out. Possum, however, is going and looking like he's driving towards the harp, so we are going to get a musical reprise here, but unfortunately for Possum, that is time just being thrown away here at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if if either of these runners is inclined to keep an eye on the race room to know at this point that their opponent is not finished. Uh, you may be thinking, well, if it's sealed cave, Flurry would have been done by now. Something like that. Uh, you may be thinking, everyone knows that I say Fade Twin Harp. I better make the play right now. There's a lot of those little considerations in a race as well. But there's also a nervousness, because I think that for players at the skill level of Possum and Flurry, you start hitting the 90-minute mark, you really expect a dot done to come in on this group flag set.
Absolutely, yeah. If I put myself in the place of either one of these runners, I am absolutely nervously looking at that race room saying, where's the dot done? I know it's coming. Where's it at?
The good news for Flurry is that he will not be going to Dwarf Castle this seed, but at the same time, yeah, I think this advantage is still Possum's. Like, getting away with one fewer check, but the Adamant armor and the Cursed Ring just doing so much.
Yeah, again, the major unfortunate point is that, yes, Flurry will have that pink tail in hand first, but is still behind a Giant and a Falcon launch, and that's a lot of time to make up right now.
Chat asking if you did the throne before doing the basement here. Given that you know both of these are key items, it's really a coin flip either way, but I think you do the throne first because you don't have to walk all the way back out. And fun fact, with 4.5, the cutscene on your way down to the Baron trash can is a few seconds shorter than it was in years prior.
But we liked explosions, didn't we?
Yeah, we get those at the Super Cannon Room. Anyway, have a little Twin Harp reprise chat. We'll be back with you after a few messages from this blarg.
Anyway, we got our musical reprise here. That looks like a Mom Bomb, and what is that other sprite? I could not tell here as Possum resets out of the harp and says, well, that's why I fade harp.
I believe that is one of the. It's just a child. I believe that sprite. Hey, we're going to see every check in the game tonight. Hooray for us! That is the young girl sprite. I know there's one in Agert talking about her dwarven ancestry.
Yes. No bard to wield spoon, no ninja to throw spoon, even though we just kind of left him in the foyer there, so...
So the final... Well, okay, actually no, we saw the package fight, we saw the Mist Cave, and the waterfall fight, we're gonna have seen every boss this game. So
Speaking of bosses we haven't seen, we shoved him in a basement instead of putting him on the moon today.
So, chat, here's the question for you, for whoever has been paying the ultimate inattention. We have now seen every boss in the game. Which one was not included in the seed?
Ooh. I have an idea. I have a guess at that, actually. I will let chat guess here, but I actually have a fair idea of who I didn't see. We did see Turtle. Turtle was in Antlion.
Yeah, Turtle was very early. Chat being sassy because they don't want to just admit they don't know. I mean, I don't know either, but I'm not being sassy about it.
I have a guess. No, we did see Karate on the moon. We saw Leg in the waterfall. And I believe, actually, Max Plus Pi has it, because I do not believe we've seen Mylon Zed.
Yeah, I think it was the second form of Mylon who has taken a break this seed. Kind of a shame. We are loving that Crystal Sword Cecil doing work, but yeah, Max Plus Pi. GG.
Yep. We've seen Haganasura. But yeah, I'm just kind of going through this, and I believe that is right. I believe Mylon Zed is the unfought this time around.
I mean, you know, I was giving our restreamer Psychonaut a little grief earlier about how generous the J Adams were on the seed, but I think when you have a seed where you see literally every boss in the game from the booth, I think you have to just take your licks, apologize. I'm so sorry. What a glorious, glorious race to be a part of tonight.
Indeed. Okay, so Fleury does have the Adamant in his has Adamant armor in his pocket now, and is probably scooting towards that giant now with all haste, I would guess. Gonna drop the hovercraft off and then pick up the whale and then just do that route there. But Possum is warping out now, so is honestly just simply a Baron basement check away from heading straight to Zeromus right now. And actually, Fleury's going to go do the Falcon launch first here, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this makes sense. You're already right here, and you will come up the path closer to where the whale's parked at Mysidia. But yeah, Seed, very illustrative of how important your gear can make on the game, and how important it is to understand, you know, agility, I would dare say, as well. Like, Fleury has this amazingly powerful team, but just because of how the turn order goes, has cost him a little bit of time.
Yeah,
and Fleury did not do Dwarf Castle, chat. Sorry.
Yeah, Fleury did not do Dwarf Castle, and again, just some of that early looting here. Especially that curse ring is probably the MVP of the seed, even more than that Adamant armor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That being said, Zeromus is going to be shaken in its boots whenever we get to that fight.
Zeromus just, Zeromus probably just wants to go on vacation. He's got to be tired of getting his butt kicked by now.
Do help me remember. Chat mentioned it, but I do think we need to ask that Fleury go back to that centipede chest just to see if there was an adamant armor there. Because if there's an adamant armor in that chest, oh
my, yeah, that's that's huge.
I mean, Fleury won't let that get him down. He knows how good of a racer he is. He knows how these things can swing back and forth. But it's just one of those curiosities that I gotta know. I gotta know.
Meanwhile, Possum does dispose of the Blarg here, and again, runners to a Blarg 0 today. Yeah, hate and love to see it.
Yeah, the battle speed there, Possum knew exactly which sparkle that was. Another advantage of the route he took. You know, we've seen every other lunar sparkle in the game. He knew exactly where that wyvern was at this point.
I mean, to be fair, Fleury does know that he's running into exactly D-Lunars here now with that here, and I mean, that's also academic because now he also has the power of adamants.
Tella, do the Meteo now. Oh. Love seeing one of your black mages who knows Meteo get charmed. Love it.
Now, you will have to actually remind me here, but if a party member is charmed here, do they also happen to just maybe discard their cast time there? So could Tella actually do the Meteo in that point and do it fast enough to...
I think so. I think that when a character, again, someone who knows the code, while you're in chat, if a character is charmed, do they still have the same count time for any long casting spell they cast? Or does the game kind of fudge it a little bit because they're an enemy now? As fast as Zerkers. All right.
Oh. So now every time I've been killed by a confused Palom with Quake in like a Ruby spot, I can see that the game was cheating. Thank you very much.
All right, new strat. When we get the combined Final Fantasy IV or Final Fantasy VI randomizer, you use Espers to only learn Fire 3, and then you let them get charmed with Reflect Rings on, and then you have instant Fire 3s just bouncing back at every enemy. Boom. Problem solved.
Okay.
Fleury here, marking off number 7, launch the Falcon, only the Giant to go. But of course, Possum fighting the final boss before Zeromus. Possum did actually not just look at every boss. No, pardon me. Possumorpheus did not fight the Asura on Hobbs.
True. Possum did lead the Asura on Hobbs. Wanted no part of that Sid whatsoever. Yes.
Yeah. Every other boss in the game, though, taken down. That's a lot of bosses.
That's a lot of bosses, and I mean, huge credit to the skill of our runners here, as Possum is basically completing a pretty much still a 28 out of 28, and we just passed the 1 hour 40 mark.
Oh, yeah. And not just that, it's a 28 out of 28 with a required launch the Falcon and clear the Giant, neither of which have key items. This is absurdly fast by both our runners. Just so well executed on both sides of the screen tonight.
I mean, yes, chat does say the Z fight is going to be silly, but we're remembering all those times, you know, all those times we were really kind of clenching it out with a half, you know, baked party, and he denied us some wins. So you know what, Z deserves this.
There's the second Adamant armor. I think we know where this one's going. Remember those 2 cat claws we bought and the 2 cat claws we found?
So what you're saying is the real thing we gained were the cat claws along the way?
I'm just excited to see Yong's damage this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it with the Zeus Gauntlet added to it there, but yeah, you know. Hey, Possum, go forge for us. There's some Zeus Gauntlets there, please.
5,000 HP, not enough for Night Dew. Write it down, chat. Now, here we are at that Ogo fight for Fleury, by the way, without a Cursed Ring anchor, super speedy spot. Say that 5 times fast. We'll see if he has any more difficulty. He has taken a few more fights, of course, than Possum did before this point.
Yeah, does have the extra source of damage in Kane, so gonna get a few more swings there, but again, just based on the whole agility manipulation there, you'd rather have more swings from the Cecil anyway.
Hey, what are all these Z flags tonight, dude?
Z flags. You know, it is kind of late. I wouldn't mind going to sleep here, but I believe there is something that needs to be done here. Would you give us the honors here?
Certainly. Whose bud is about to go cry itself to a miserable death from this over-leveled, overpowered team getting kicked all the way out of the solar system. This is going to be brutal. I don't think I can watch.
So they can wave at the party from Endwalker while they are while he is flying through the solar system, blasting off again, one might say.
This is going to be so bad. I don't think we even see a second Big Bang here.
Oh, we definitely don't see a second Big Bang here. Heck, at this point, even if Fu is just putting his feet up and
You can control her down. You don't even have to
yeah,
nerf the first one with this team. It might actually be faster to. Oh, that's cute. It's Road 1-1. Uh, it may actually be faster here not to nerf, just because of dealing with the two nuke animations. And I don't see a spell be. Oh, are we?
I would say
No,
that,
no, knows. He knows the math, Night Dew. He knows the math. There
I
is
hear Possum
no
is fairly good at math. Yes.
no reason to nerf anything here. All you're sitting through is additional animations. It's great.
Yep. If we also want to point out some of the issues with the whole swag medio here, or even the agility, unfortunately, Fleury could not replicate a quick kill on CPU and did eat a pair of globes, and unfortunately is going to see some recovers coming up here.
Recovers nicely though. Gets not
Oh
only the
no!
life.
Is there hubris here? We did see a second Big Bang, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that really a Big Bang though? That's like
It's a medium bang.
yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Tried to, with its fine for hate's sake, World 1 stabbed at Possum, but it could not bring him down. Amazing race night. GG's in chat. We'll see if we can get Possum in here for an interview soon. Got a very important thing to notify him of once he is here. Oh, hey, we're joined by Possumorpheus. Possumorpheus, GG.
GG, greetings, friends.
Your run's invalid. You left one boss standing in the entire seed. We need you to go back to Hobbs and finish what you started.
Sid and Asura can stay there. I had no need.
Out of curiosity, though, I don't know if you were running a boss tracker there, but we're pretty sure we have identified the completely unfought there, and do you know who that is?
Well, the only things I don't have on my tracker are Octomam, Mylon Z, and Elements. I remember Elements was at Ogopogo, and Octomam I fought somewhere, so it's got to be Mylon Z. I think I just got tired of checking boxes by the end of that seed, because I did everything!
That is where we arrived at as well, so gold star there.
So tell us a little bit about your strategy. Night Dew on comms was talking a lot about how much you're a fan of Elven Castle looting, going there, but you had a very early Magma Key this seed. What informed the trap chest you were looking to take this seed?
Actually wasn't looking to take them. That's the interesting thing was because of how the loot ended up routing in with things like double cat claws for sale, it gave me enough early on to get through stuff without having to loot like Ebling Castle or Watery Pass or anything like that. So I could just hit the Fey March on the way down. Ended up spiking a Cursed Ring, a Protect Ring, I think. Some pretty decent stuff. I think I found a Rune Axe somewhere, so like I had things for people. It wasn't nearly as outrageous as it could have been, but it was good enough. I was honestly sitting there prepping for like a 20 treasure chest run. If I could have found a white mage like up on Hobbs, if it was a Rosa, I was just going to D-machine and get it over with and go Kane, Yong, Rosa with Atella Anchor and just call it good. So it was really interesting how the loot actually directed that away from grinding early, which is one of the things I love to do.
Gotcha. Well, pulling off the big win against your fellow pink name tonight, going up to 2-0. Still though, I believe you have one of the. Do you have one of the 7-player groups? Forgive me for not remembering offhand.
It is a 6-player group, so thankfully only 5 matches to worry about. I do have 3 remaining, one coming up on Sunday against Professor Renderer, and then 2 more to be scheduled against Asmati Games and Starman Randoms. So the work is not done yet by any means.
Gotcha. But being up 2-0, especially with the wins you've gotten, how are you feeling right now? Are you like big sigh of relief after tonight, or is it just you gotta keep working, keep going even harder in the paint here?
I mean, huge sigh of relief, of course. Like, Fleury is not just one of, if not the better players in this tournament, but like all time in Free Enterprise. All he does is make top 4s, top 8s, designs flag set, does so much for the community. So to get a chance to play him is always an honor. To come out ahead, I mean, you just count your lucky stars at that point. So, a lot of the hard work is done, but, this group is stacked. Like, for those who watched my race with Funnel Cakes, that dude is good really fast.
Oh yeah, only a
Starman,
5-minute difference in that outcome, right? Yeah.
Starman is a top 8 turning runner. Fleury, obviously, we know how good he is. Asmati Games, like, I've seen lots of really good times in Seed of the Weeks. Like, this group, folks may see it and say, oh, there's some haves and have-nots in there. No, y'all. Everyone's so dang good at this game.
Yeah,
I do.
really tell us not to sleep on anybody, and I had a rather ignominious exit in ZZ3, and I don't even know if I slept on them or they were just that good. So, I mean, we always have somebody who pops up like every year, so yeah, there's that. One thing I would like to ask is, I was a absolutely huge fan of one of the polls that pretty much got you there. So hair dryers, what led you there?
I ran out of hourglasses, so I couldn't do gold dragons, and so I was like, well, I need something to get Cecil started. And then it just so happened that I hit the, what is it, like 11% for the adamant armor or something like that, and I was like, oh, cool. The one trap chest I do for experience gives me the best item I could have found. So yeah, that was neat.
For what it's worth, though, I think that as good as the adamant armor was, and it helped you close the distance, because Fleury didn't do Dwarf Castle. That's the one different check, really, between the two of you. The Cursed Ring was also huge. Fleury's been anchoring the entire seed, basically, with either a 20 or 23 agility foo, and that Cursed Ring just gave you such clean fights, which you did a lot of them.
Well, there's someone that we all know named Pancras who calls Cecil the guy. For me in this flag set, I just need the guy, an anchor, a second Zerker, and either Fu or Rosa. So that's that. Like, I don't need more. Whether it would have been a Cursed Ring or just a traditional anchor at like 4 or 8 agility, that was going to be fine. So that's always my plan on these. It's very tried and true at this point, and it works most of the time.
Meanwhile, just to butt in, we do have a finish for Fleury here at 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 27 seconds. So get your GGs out for the Fleury as well here.
Both runners doing... Y'all didn't just do basically every check in the game. You didn't do Hobbs, Fleury didn't do Dwarf Castle, but you both had hook routes after doing Magma Keys. You both had Giants that, of course, also don't have a key item payout. Just ridiculously expert play by both of you tonight. Joy to watch, joy to see this go back and forth. Just a heck of a match. Very well done.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate both of y'all doing comms, coming out. Like my naming scheme said, what is this with all these old hats here? Is this 2018? What's going on? I'm, again, honored to be in the company of y'all, the kind of some of the founders of Free Enterprise, the game that I've really come to love. So I thank you both in comms. Thank you, Psycho, not for rolling this. And thank you, Ike, here, for probably pushing every darn thing you possibly could have, I'm guessing, between the two of us.
I do not see an unlit button on the screen. Oh, wait, I see one unlit button.
It's just the one Sand Ruby, but yeah, every button was clicked. Well, hey, GG's, cool. Possum, wonderfully played. Looking forward to your next match. Tell us one more time, when is that next match scheduled for?
I believe it is Sunday against Professor Renderer, and if I were better at paying attention to my own scheduling, I could tell you when. But it is Sunday against Professor Renderer, probably like 7 o'clock Pacific, like 4 Eastern, if I had to guess. I don't remember, but it's somewhere around there.
Well, if anyone needs to know the exact time, y'all should make it a point to join the Free Enterprise Discord. Updates every night with the following day's matches. You'll know which channels they're being restreamed to, who to look out for, and we got links for all the CADGARs and spoiler threads for if you just want to talk about a match that's not even being restreamed. So make sure y'all hop on the Discord if you want to keep up with Possumorpheus's and everyone else's matches.
All right. Well, I am going to let Fleury take it from here. GG's again, Fleury. Heck of a match, man. Always a pleasure to play you. And everyone, have yourselves a great night and a great weekend.
Hey, GG's again. Thank you. Fleury!
Hi.
So, inquiring minds, we really need you to go back through Sylph Cave and in the spoiler thread, see if there is an adamant armor in that centipede box.
Oh, yeah. That was a bummer. That low roll on the Stardust for 400. Come on.
That was brutal because there are so many items in there that can totally flip that thing around. Because you had the advantage going into the moon. Possum had a big curse string on you that let him anchor his fights better, but spiking the adamant armor was so big. And
yeah.
We were real curious about that when you were going, when you were looping back through with your pan. Like, is he gonna go back to the centipede chest? And so we really want to see that. But tell us a little bit more about your loot situation, because we asked Possum about his. He was talking about how the team had really most of the stuff he wanted. He didn't feel compelled to do a lot of fishing, and we didn't see you do a lot either. I think just a flame dog and an alert chest.
Yeah, I think given the amount of time I spotted doing underworld checks and also taking the centipede wipe, I was a little concerned that if Possum just straight up did Evelyn, that there was something good there, then I've basically just given up like 4 to 5 minutes I couldn't afford to do. And otherwise, like, I felt like I could lean on Quake once I got Palom. Finally found Sirens, in the last shop as they are wont to do. And I figured Quake would be perfectly fine until like the midway point, and at that point I could pivot into whatever. And it timed out really nicely. Like Fu showed up a little after that, and then Crystal or Xcal showed up after that, and the chest had just Artemis arrows, which, not an adamant.
Needs more Rooter dragons for you to have to take down, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any spot where that might have helped, and no, like I was gonna nice to the gold dragons regardless.
Yeah. Night 2, thoughts?
None that were really honestly covered here. I mean, the thing is, despite, again, 2 pieces of gear, it was an incredibly clean race between the both of you. And again, like I said, about 95% of the runners, Fleury puts that up, and Fleury wins that. Just did not get the right roll of dice on this one here today.
Oh yeah, by the way, you did fade Dwarf Castle. General opinion of the Dwarf Castle check, we've seen some runners go for it, prioritize it, others fade it. What informed your decision to leave the blue planet and go to the moon when you did?
I usually like to do Dwarf Castle before I go, but with only needing 1 key item and 2 moon objectives that are 3 right off the bat, I felt like I kind of got it. It was definitely like a little bit of a gamble, right? Because if it's in there or Luca, I probably lose. Or I could bet on everything else, because if it's in the Fey March, like, all right, I feel like it's reasonable to expect my opponent is going to full clear the moon, then do the Fey March. If it's off of a moon chain, again, you're probably going to full clear the moon at that point. So not too worried there, and none of the chains left were necessarily bad. So, well, I don't even phrase that. They weren't necessarily good. So you're not bailing on the moon on a twin harp. Although against Possum, I thought about the 2 things going in. I was, to this particular race, I was had in mind was A, if there's an early Twin Harp, I am 100% taking it. And then B, if I got 2 Black Mages early, I was prepared to do 30 Sirens in a Dream, especially with this objective list. But I didn't get a second Black Mage, and Excal showed up, and I was like, well, you can't do that now, so...
We
But that was
were,
the strategy going in.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we were kind of trying to see, especially with the almost instant tele on the moon and a giant. And Possum even said something about it before that Cecil came in. But we were trying to push people over to see just if anybody would go run D money real quick.
It's hard to say, man. Like if you end up getting just a decent amount of power, you're not really gaining that much more time on overworld checks. So sure, you gain time on moon checks by getting those extra levels, but if you pull something like an Adamant or a Holy Sword, how much time are you really gaining? And more to the point, are you gaining the 10 minutes you spend on a D money? I didn't have enough gear to pull a fireless D money, so maybe with a crystal ring that goes a little more, is a little more of a possibility. But I think this is definitely an objective list where it's in a situation where it's pretty viable. But man, if you go up against someone pulling an Adamant Armor and a Holy Sword, you're not making up 10. Like it's just, I don't think it's gonna work out. I could be wrong though.
Gotcha. Well, hey, when is your next match in this full moon group?
Tomorrow. Let me check. Yeah, tomorrow. I get the old birthday race against Funnel Cakes, so a little concerned about that match because Funnel Cakes was absolutely fantastic against Possum in their first race. So
yeah, just a 5-minute difference or so in that race, just roughly a 5-minute difference tonight. So ought to be another great match. Also, happy birthday!
Yeah. I mean, this time my sister's not gonna leak it to everybody, so yeah, I'll just it's gonna happen. 43. Oh boy.
Oh, to be young again.
Uh-oh, chat's giving you an outpouring of love. You better go hide your blushing cheeks.
Oh well. Since I did take this loss, I guess that means we're gonna have to do a SMZ3 multi as a punishment, right?
Oh, sweet. When you wanna? Okay, say when.
Oh
Night,
man,
you're in, right?
it's been a sec. I mean, I do have to work tomorrow. Who cares? I'll jump in.
We're not doing key sanity though. I refuse.
Oh well, now the fun's gone.
All right. Well, hey, GG's again, Fleury. A heck of a race. Wonderfully executed. The amount of stuff that you two did in under 2 hours is ridiculous. Very, very well done.
Yeah, thank you. That's for a pretty close to full clear. I'm pretty happy with the time. I usually like to see full clears without giant and hook be under 130. But I think this no complaints about how I ran this race at all.
All right, chat. Well, we are about to kick it over to Free Enterprise 2, where the Pyre and Lenophis match is going on. Do not spoiler this race, because this was a very good race, and a lot of people over there would probably like to watch back if they didn't see it live. And be back here afterwards. 11 p.m. Eastern, Steph Lively and Mike are playing here on Free Enterprise 1. So plenty more Adamant Cup action tonight. Night, dude? Last word, buddy. It's all you.
I mean, a pleasure as always. A quick shout out to our restream team, both Ikir and Sickonaut for again giving us the easy jobs of just talking about this. And again, just have fun, everybody, and plenty more Adamant Cup to come later here.